Call Don right now, 682-1270.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. Welcome back to the program. 631. Chris Brentel is joining us. And we won't talk about Deflategate, at least not this hour. I don't think there's anything new, and there probably won't be anything new until after the Super Bowl. So I think that's pretty much run its course. We'll let them decide what they're going to decide. It's going to be a slap in the wrist, and the Patriots will go back to cheating. So there's really nothing to discuss. But the Pro Bowl is coming up this weekend. They decided to go back to having the Pro Bowl in the Super Bowl city in the week between the Super Bowl and the championship game. So I kind of like that format better. I'm sure the players like going to Hawaii better, but there really is no link to Hawaii other than these guys get a free vacation.
I absolutely hate all-star games. I hate them all. It's the worst thing It's horrible product. Nobody plays defense. Nobody tries. It's a meaningless exhibition game. They should put them on the list and not play the game in all three major sports. Except for baseball. I don't like baseballs either.
Well, baseballs at least means something.
Oh, who gets to host a World Series?
So you get 4 games instead of 3.
Yeah, I don't like any of them. I don't watch any of them. I will say baseball's the best one because they bring those guys are actually trying.
Best out of a bad bunch.
Right, it's the best out of a bad bunch. But the NBA they don't play defense. The NFL they don't care. They're just trying not to get hurt.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You don't you want a good product, but you don't want these guys getting hurt over a Pro Bowl game. I'll tell you what they could do to make it a little bit more interesting. I don't mind this, and I don't mind the fantasy draft thing. I think that's actually kind of a neat idea. Although the way I would do that, well, I guess they need time to practice together. So it's one of those, I guess they have to do this on Wednesday. I guess it's 2 days. I don't know if they did it says day 2, but I thought all of it was yesterday. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Andrew Luck was picked first, and they didn't even call him by his name. They said the neck beard with the arm, which is a good description of Andrew Luck, but that's kind of disrespectful. But I'll just say Andy Dalton is in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
That says everything. Andy Dalton is in the Pro Bowl. So
he had an okay season.
Yeah. But,
he's
really.
only in because guys like Tom Brady's really not going to participate in it. Peyton Manning's not going to be in it.
Yeah, there's so many injuries. I think Andy Dalton actually took Peyton Manning's spot because, but that's a pretty far drop from Peyton Manning to Andy Dalton.
Oh, I agree. It just makes it more of a joke. I'm not going to sit there and watch the game. Are you actually going to watch the game?
I might watch some of it. What they should do.
I'm sure there's nice college basketball on at that time.
Well, let's see. It'll be Sunday night. There will be college basketball. Cops will probably be on.
Oh.
And The Simpsons and Family Guy. So I might not watch this Pro Bowl.
Might be third on the rotation.
Yeah, it might be one of those things I just flip by on the way to bed. But just to see, if they've broken 100 yet by the third quarter. I will say what they could do, and the NHL does a good job of this, is at least I think they still have the skills competition. The NBA does a good job with this, with the 3-point shooting, and people would rather see that. The home run contest. The home run contest is better than the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
That's a good point, yeah.
So just have skills competitions. Have the quarterbacks, and they do this with guys coming into the league. During the summer, usually they invite a bunch of quarterbacks and they have them throw the ball and run and do that.
That's a good idea. And the dunk competition, I watch that. I never watched the NBA All-Star game, but I watch the dunk competition almost every year.
So
it's a good plan.
Do that instead, and maybe come up with some kind of some kind of way to have them playing on a field in a competitive manner that's not a football game. Have them play a softball game.
Yeah.
It would probably be more competitive and probably be more fun.
Well, sometimes, I don't know if they still do this every year now, but they do have a celebrity softball game, I'm pretty sure, before the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Every year. I think that's more compelling.
Well, I'm talking about the NFL. They should just have a softball game.
Play softball.
Or I know
basketball tournament.
I think the NFL, I think either early in the morning or the day before the Pro Bowl, they have the old timers flag football game. Just do fun things like that,
right?
And maybe even bring in people that aren't football players, that are stars, that are fans, to play in the softball game.
Maybe, they could combine them. They could have the NFL Pro Bowlers play the NBA All-Star game, and the NBA All-Star team play Major League Baseball, and then switch and
sports
swap
around. Well, you might as well, because they don't play a football game. They play touch football.
They do.
They're not allowed to blitz. They have to run a base 4-3. They don't really have any. The reasoning is the coaches always say, well, we're motivated by the money, because the winning team gets a certain amount, the losing team gets a certain amount. But if you think about it, for most of these guys, it's not really that much money.
Yeah,
it might be enough to pay off one stomping fine for Ndamukong Suh.
Exactly.
It's really that's pretty much it. So it's not really worth actually putting in any effort, and you don't want to get injured. I mean, that's the thing about football. I mean, every extra game you play, you're having a chance of getting injured. So,
and it's the worst one out of all of them. That's the worst All-Star game, because at least with the NBA, you get 360 dunks and all that kind of stuff. You have the dunk competition, and then Major League Baseball kind of means something. It's the NFL one, I don't even know why they have it. If they come out tomorrow and said, we're just not going to play the game, I'd be quite thrilled.
Yeah, we're gonna have a skills competition. Yeah. Or although I will say every couple of years you get a spot in the Pro Bowl that is funny. I mean, a center scoring a touchdown or something like that. I mean, I guess you could force them to run trick plays every play. Every play is a flea flicker or an end around or something like that. You got to change it up, and narrowing the goalpost isn't changing it up.
No,
do that in the preseason, because they want to test narrower goalposts to make it harder. Last year they tested longer. What did they test? They tested. Did they test longer field? No, they tested longer kickoffs last year.
Something like they did.
Yeah, but
it was ridiculous.
It's one of those things. If you want to test it in the preseason when guys are actually playing
for jobs.
Yeah, playing for jobs. Kickers don't care. Nobody cares about the Pro Bowl.
I don't care about that goalpost either.
No, just leave
Why are they doing that?
Just leave it alone.
Leave the game alone. And they don't want to. They want to try these new things. They don't want to fix the catch rule. We got to go. Come on, you caught the football.
Well, yeah, that's they don't want to police the inflation of footballs properly, but they're gonna mess around with the goalposts. They're gonna mess around with kicking. The eventual end game is to eliminate pretty much all special teams.
Probably.
They don't really. I mean, they don't mind field goal kicking, but they don't really want kickoffs. They definitely don't want punt returns. So they're going to do everything they can to eliminate. Oh no, what they experimented with was extra points. They moved the extra point back.
They
10
moved
yards.
it back. That's right.
Yeah. And it made almost no difference.
Was it 10 yards? They moved it back.
Yeah, moved it back 10. So it's 30. Let's see, a 27 instead of a 17 or whatever it is. A 32 instead of a 22. It makes no difference. Makes no difference
at all.
Not to these
kickers, it doesn't.
No. So
it'd make a difference in high school, but
oh yeah. Well, I mean, it would make a difference in college even. I mean, I've seen college games where they just gave up on kicking because neither kicker. I mean, I'll just say it. The UW game, not this past year, but last year against Hawaii, both teams, the kickers were so bad, neither one would kick a field goal, and they would kick the punts away from the or they would run away from punts because the punt returners were muffing punts every time.
Oh.
So the team would kick, and they'd run away from it. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. It was so cold that day that while the Cowboys were on defense, I just went to the bathroom to warm up.
Oh, yeah. Go watch the offense.
Yeah, nobody was playing defense. It was a 59-56 game. So it was really not worth watching the defense, and I had to warm up somewhere. Okay, so we've pretty much decided the Pro Bowl needs to just not exist or be a skills competition.
Exactly.
Okay, what do we have going on in sports?
We have Gillette basketball and Wright wrestling.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you in an hour. News Talk 1270, KIML.
He's not bald. That's a solar panel for a talk radio machine. Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270, KIML.